What's up, everybody? We back again. Russo's Playbook on the court with CP and AG. We're here to talk pretty much all March Madness today. We're not going to do any NBA because, it's not the time for that. It's March. The Madness begins in 2 days. So, we're ready to go. We got a bunch of blogs dropping about March Madness, fitting for the time. Top 5 Cinderella stories of the past decade. We talked about Florida Gulf Coast, Loyola Chicago, UMBC, VCU, Butler with Gordon Hayward and Brad Stevens. And then we got another bracket busters, teams to look out for that might bust your bracket. Hopefully not if you read the blog first. And then Connor's going to, break down pretty much all of March Madness and give a full overview, kind of like he did with his way too early look into it. You can catch all of that at russosplaybook.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Russo's Playbook. The link is in the bio for that as well, so you'll find all the blogs there. Rutgers is going dancing. Once again, check out my interview with Nick Brooks. First time they're going dancing since 1991, 30-year drought. So I interviewed him all about that. So check that out as well on our YouTube at Russo's Playbook. And yeah, Connor, what's up, bro?
Hey man, March Madness really starts tomorrow. Got the playing games for I think 2 of the 4 playing games tomorrow, or all 4, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's all 4. Yeah, they're
All
getting right to
4.
it, and then the first round starts Friday.
Yeah, I mean I'm ready. It's
Yeah.
March, let's get it.
Now, one thing I think is pretty interesting is that they're doing the entire tournament in Indianapolis. That's unprecedented, obviously. It's interesting because they're all in the same, city the entire time, and I think it almost poses a little bit of an advantage for the teams all around, just because they don't have to travel after getting to a certain uh, point in the tournament. They're just staying there the whole time, all the way straight to the national championship, so they don't have to switch their environment at all. It's kind of feels like a big advantage for top seeds, like 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds. They could just be comfortable the entire time.
See, I'm thinking of it in a different way. So you have it's basically a ginormous AAU tournament with no travel. So
That's
think of like
true.
a beach jam.
That's
So
true.
like it doesn't really give that much of a bigger advantage to more experienced teams who've been there, done that. So if you have teams with younger guys, say like a Gonzaga, even though they're decently experienced, but with Jalen Suggs, who's a freshman, just for example, those guys won't be feeling the pressure as much as they would have normally. And as you said, no travel, that'll be big for the teams going cross country to meet if they were meeting in, say, Arlington at Jerry's World or something for the Final Four.
Yeah. See, yeah, but that's the thing. So like it's kind of like an AAU tournament, and these guys have all grown up playing AAU their
Every
whole
one of
lives.
them.
So, like, I would feel comfortable doing that. I've done it before. You know what I mean? So,
Yep,
uh,
me both.
yeah, I think especially for freshmen, that's a great point. Like, especially freshmen coming in that haven't been there before, or anybody that hasn't been there before, even if it's an upperclassman, it kind of just, it'll bring you back to your roots a little bit. Feel like high school again, going through the AAU circuit, like you said. But I know you wanted me to ask you, why are the NCAA scumbags?
All right. So we had the big FBI probe come out like end of 2018, where Oklahoma State had, I think it was a self-posed ban that they appealed towards the beginning of the season because they had the number one recruit, number one NBA prospect in the country, Cade Cunningham. Then the appeal, NCAA just sat on the appeal so they could let him play. Having the number one prospect in the country playing the tournament is going to bring so much more revenue to a supposedly not-for-profit organization that makes multi-billions every year, especially on March Madness. They lost out on so much money last year. There was no way they weren't letting March not happen. But just it makes no sense. So you were gonna like they got docked, I'm pretty sure, some scholarships, but now you're letting them play just because it would make the NCAA a huge conglomerate revenue. I mean, that's fucked considering what they do normally to other schools, docking the postseason bans, loss of scholarships, which really just hurts the players that are just coming in or the teams that didn't have anything to do with that. So I just think that's pretty fucked.
Yeah, yeah, I got no arguments there. I've always been a big anti NCAA kind of guy. Like not so much anti NCAA, but like just kind of I've always been like, they're scumbags. Like you said. They
Yeah,
uh they they don't take
even
care of the
like we're all
players.
questionable of of all their like the motives and all the ways they operate. Because
Yeah,
like yeah, it's above the board, but it's still not for the student athlete. It's for profit.
exactly. Right. And they try to say student athletes to make it seem like they're for the students, and they're not. They're just not. You know what I mean? My thing is, I don't care. You're still giving them an opportunity for an education. You're giving them an opportunity to advance their playing careers. So like, I'm cool with that. Do what you got to do at that point. You're still providing some perks, but don't lie about it. Just be straight up. Like, yeah, we're here for the money, and you can use us, and we can use you, and voila, we're good. But they try to frame it like they're not doing that, and that's what bothers me.
100%.
But yeah, let's get into the tournament. We got the first four, so those games will happen tomorrow night. But then first round, what are you looking for in the first round?
Hang on, let's go back to the first four. So we got the Michigan State UCLA matchup, to I believe 11 seeds, part of the first four games, and this is going to be the best first four games we've ever had because it's Tom Izzo in March. They had a pretty decent run in the tournament and had a good end of the regular season. Plus, I saw a stat earlier today. Michigan State's 7-0 this season in games when Rocket Watts, one of their starting guards, I think he's number 2 on the team, scores in double figures. They're 8-12 when he isn't, and when they beat Michigan on March 7th, he had 21 points, 4 assists, 4 boards in that win. So that's one of the first four games I'm really looking forward to because two of the others, they're two 16 seed matchups. So that's a playing game to get smacked in the first round. Not looking forward to that.
Yeah,
And and then the other one is Drake versus Wichita State. I think Wichita State takes that pretty easily.
I agree. Yeah, I UCLA, Michigan State. They better watch out, man. They're fixing to get smacked in the next round too.
Yep.
But
Who
my
are they
my boys
playing?
at BYU. Is it?
And I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, it's BYU. I'm pretty sure they
Yeah,
played.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yo, I like BYU, man. I got them in my bracket busters. Check that out on the website again. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like BYU, man. They've played Gonzaga very well 3 times so far compared to other teams. And I think they have what it takes to make a little run. They're a little veteran heavy, and they got a chance.
Yeah, they've got a good squad, but like you just take like if you take say just Michigan State or even UCLA, just truly better conferences overall, especially
Yeah,
Michigan State in the Big Ten. And as like I mentioned earlier, they beat Michigan. I'm pretty sure did they beat Illinois end of the season? They had like 2 top 25 wins
I
coming down the stretch.
don't think it was Illinois, but yeah, I mean, yeah. Either way, I mean, they got 2 top 25 wins. That's solid either way.
Build a little momentum and like just like an interesting thing to think about. So with COVID, there was pretty much a week layoff for most teams, especially the conference tournaments that ended like kind of early to mid of last week. So they're not really truly riding that momentum because they had to sit in the hotels for a 3-4 day quarantine, get COVID tested out the wazoo. And so they're really not riding the momentum, no practice time for the first few days there. Literally, all the guys are sitting in their rooms playing Xbox the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And statistically, over the last few years, well, last like 20 years or so, most teams like the not and overall national champion has not won the conference tournament. I think since maybe UConn in 2013. So that's a thing to watch out for. I mean, I have in my main bracket, I've got Gonzaga winning it all, but for other reasons, I think like the offense is too high powered. They have one of the best defensive backcourts in the country
Yeah.
and some of the best guard play. So I think those are three things I really look for in teams going into March. But what else you got first round? I mean, oh, let me give you a gambling stat. So the most profitable seed overall, I forget the time frame, but in the first round are 12 seeds against the spread. They're I think plus 6.9 units, and that just coincidentally happened because my two big upsets in the first round were ironically 12 seeds.
Yeah.
Winthrop over Villanova and UCSB taking down Creighton.
Now you've been pretty bearish on Villanova all season.
I mean,
Um,
so let me just backtrack a little bit. So in November, I took a future on them to win it all
yeah, right,
because
right.
because of I mean, like if you looked at them going into the season, they had uh pretty much a primarily upperclassmen team. They had a good transfer in Tulane, Colin Gillespie Sr. They have former 5-star, the starting center. Um dude with the fro. I can't his name's escaping me right now, number 24.
Oh
Dude,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. But
yeah.
I don't know. Nah,
But
can't think of it.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl, there we go. But
Boom.
that and they've won what was it, two out of the last four national championships or out of the last three, something like that. So just a very veteran team. Jay Wright, Hall of Fame coach, one of the greatest suit closets in the college basketball world.
Yeah.
Uh, but
So
I
I was
mean, I didn't
definitely
bet.
you're definitely taking a shot in the dark betting against them in March. But
Yeah,
I
but
see
here's
where
my
you're coming from, and in one of my brackets, I have Winthrop upsetting them as well.
Yeah, but like here's my reasoning. So they're Colin Gillespie's out for the season. They're a point guard laden team, even though they have Archie Diacono's little brother stepping in at point, but he really wasn't getting any time in the regular season. And
Mhm.
that team is run by point guards. And like I watch a lot of their games during the season, and when Gillespie was on the bench, that offense really struggled. And it's not a high octane offense to begin with throughout the season, even with Gillespie. But now you're going to have little Archie Diacono. He really hasn't gotten much burn this season. And then running the normal two guard, Justin Moore, number 5. He's not a great offensive initiator. So I think the offense will sputter. Winthrop is 49th in the country total, not just conference in the country, in number of offensive possessions per game. Screaming high tempo. If Winthrop controls the pace, makes it much more up tempo than Villanova is accustomed to playing, making it a track meet, Villanova is going to have a lot of trouble.
Yeah, no, I agree. I took Winthrop in one of my brackets for the same reason, but in my other one, I had to go Nova just because
Yeah,
I can't bet on them in both. You gotta,
yeah, I'd have a little hedge.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
and then in the other game, I'm taking UCSB against Creighton because we saw Georgetown took down Creighton and Villanova in the Big East. A lot of people are probably going to ride Georgetown just because they got hot in the Big East, but the Big East is pretty garbage this year.
Yeah,
Creighton went against Georgetown. At the first half score was 36-18 in favor of Georgetown. So Creighton rides on Marcus Zagorowski, who's like half brothers with Michael Carter Williams. A little fun fact to throw in there.
mm,
But they go where he goes, and he's been pretty cold most of the season, even if he's putting up points, bad percentages. So I think UCSB averages 70 points per game. If they keep it around 60, 65, I think Winthrop's taking that. And like even so, Creighton's not making it deep. Neither is Villanova.
You said Winthrop. You mean
Uh,
UCSB?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but neither Creighton nor Villanova are making it deep. I'm buying very low on the Big East in this tournament,
yeah, I agree,
buying
100%.
buying low on the ACC as well, even though I had Florida State as a Final Four team in the way too early preview, but that's because
Yeah,
it was way too early.
how you feel about that? You taking that back?
I
They've
mean,
been they've lost. They've played a bunch of good games. They've won a bunch of good games since then, but they've lost a couple bad ones since then as well.
yeah, I mean, they're still gonna make a decent run. I don't think they're losing in the first or the second round, but I mean, they're just not riding a great, like truly great momentum. The offense
Right.
hasn't looked great.
Hmm.
But in March, if you have a bunch of long defenders get out on defense, cause a lot of turnovers, and they're a great fast break team, they could still put up some points even if the three ball doesn't drop. I mean, I don't think I didn't pick them to go. I think maybe Sweet 16 or Elite 8 past there, but
I think they run into Michigan eventually. I think, right? I believe so.
yeah, they would run into Michigan in the Sweet 16.
That's where I had them losing.
Yep, I think I did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
that's the
the
only reason I remembered that because I wanted to ride Florida State because I do like them. Like ever since you were telling me to start watching them and paying attention to them, I've been doing that, and I like their game, man. I like Scotty Barnes, but
bro,
I
he
think they
picks
run
up
into
full
Michigan.
court almost every possession when he's on the floor. and he's
Yeah.
6'8", ridiculous wingspan. So that messes up the other team's offense.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think Michigan takes the edge. That's another reminder. I forgot to mention this one. I got a blog about Michigan being a number one seed again for the first time since the Fab Five. And the Fab Five is actually back in the tournament as a number one seed via Juwan Howard, Michigan Wolverines head coach. Check that out as well on the website. What else you want to get
Another,
into? You got any other
I got
first
another
round?
little tidbit. So this is the first time Illinois has been a one seed since 2005 with the Darren Williams team.
Mm.
And
Oh,
that year they went to the national championship.
yeah. Dude, that was a was it the national championship game or the final four game? One of those games were insane. The ending. Didn't they come back from like
Something
I
like
wish I
that. It
knew
was one of
the
the
I wish
two.
I knew the exact stats, but they came back from like down 13 with like a minute and a half left in one of those games to advance. I think it was like Elite Eight or Final Four or something like that. It was crazy. Darren Williams was going off.
Yeah, so let's do a little debate about Loyola Chicago. So you pointed them out in your bracket buster blog a
Yeah,
little
so
bit.
let me preface it. So my bracket buster blog, I've got BYU. I'm heavy on BYU. I mean, they're a six seed, so it's not too surprising if they make it to the second round. But I think they have potential to keep going at least one or two more games potentially. I like Ohio over Virginia with the whole situation of Virginia dealing with COVID and all of the implications that might come with that. And Ohio has played well against good teams. I mean, they almost beat Illinois early in the season. But for my last two, I put Georgia Tech versus Loyola Chicago. They're matched up, and I think the winner of that could pose a little bit of a threat for Illinois, but I'm not like banking on it. I'll be honest, I didn't even take it in my bracket, but it could be a potential. It could potentially bust my bracket, and here's why. Loyola Chicago has the best defensive rating in the country. So while that doesn't say everything because they haven't played Illinois all season or teams of that nature all season, it shows that they play very good defense, but nonetheless. Go ahead though. What's
Yeah,
your
no,
thought?
I just wanted to mention it because they're back in the tournament, made it to the final four the last time we had a big dance.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
just kind
They're
of
in my
like
blog as well.
yeah, so just like a little warning for anybody who's thinking of riding them. So they don't we talked about this last time we spoke, and all the starters from that 2018 Final Four team, they're gone. Their star player is a 6'8" chunky big man, Cameron Crutwig. So like say
Third team All American though. Let's talk about
yeah.
it. Give him his
Yeah,
credit.
no, he puts up like 18 a game, but I mean you look at him against Illinois because that would be the round of 32 matchup. He'll be going against Kofi Cockburn,
Yeah.
who's he's 7'1". He looks like he's been a man since he's 12. Bro, he's a
Yeah.
brick house,
Yeah.
and defensively, if Illinois brings their A game, they could be just as good as a defensive team as Loyola Chicago. And matchup wise, say Krutwig, who could shoot the three ball, step things out. Illinois has to counter that. They could bring up Benashvili, number 15 on Illinois. He's 6'11", lefty who could shoot the three, get you off the dribble. So he's literally bigger, longer, faster, and taller than Krutwig. So matchup wise, Illinois has him covered no matter which way the game is going.
Yeah, I hear you. Look, I don't have much of a debate for you, honestly, because I agree with all the points you're making. You're making good points, but I just took them as like a little dark horse. You know what I mean? They could potentially sneak by if Illinois has an off day.
They
I mean, we've
could,
seen it happen before. You know what I mean? It's an upset. An upset is an upset. Nobody ever expects it. That's why they call it an upset. Nobody's predicting it. Well, predicting it, yeah, but nobody's like the stats are obviously with the favorites. You know what I mean? So
yep.
we gotta look at it that way. But I think also an interesting thing is if Georgia Tech pulls off that win, they've got a couple sharpshooters, and if they're hot, they can score
Yeah,
with Illinois. Like, granted, that'll be a high scoring game if Georgia Tech is competing. Like, Georgia Tech's not going to slow them down necessarily, but they could potentially score with them and keep it close enough to attack at the end of the game.
yeah, and they played in the ACC against some pretty decent teams throughout the season.
Right.
Virginia, Florida State, North Carolina has a lot of good bigs, a lot of size down in the post. So they have more of the resume and a little bit more experience playing against bigger teams like that.
Yeah, and they've got their head coach who worked under Lou Olson
Pastner,
at Arizona. Yeah, Pastner.
Josh
Yeah,
Pastner. He was at Memphis before Georgia Tech.
he was well he was with Calipari at Memphis, then took over from Memphis. Um, he was with Lou Olson back in the day on Arizona, and he won a national championship as a player with Arizona in 1997. So he's not new to the tournament either. Um,
Yeah, and
and
they have
he's
locally bred point guard Jose Alvarado went to Christ the King in New York City.
oh, there you go. Yeah, he's pretty sure he's one of their sharpshooters. He's a shooter, right?
Yeah,
He's
one of the
got
point
his, yeah,
guards.
yeah. So I mean,
It'll
hey,
be
look
interesting.
out for them, man.
Yeah, and I see. I don't really see any other huge upsets. Maybe UNC Greenboro over Florida State. That could be interesting. I don't think so, but I'm just
Um,
looking for like teams that could really get upset.
now,
Bama's not getting taken down by Iona.
yeah,
Maryland, Connecticut. I don't really see that as an upset. Maryland played in the Big Ten.
yeah.
Um, and then USC. I think whether they play Drake or Wichita State, they have Evan Mobley, who's going top 5 in the draft. He's a big 7-footer, literally too talented to be guarded. Drake, Wichita State don't have the size.
Yeah,
Honestly,
so I'll say this, like that's pretty much why Loyola Chicago and Georgia Tech made the cut against each other or matching up with each other. They made the cut in my bracket busters because I really couldn't find anything else I really liked. I liked the story of Georgia Tech and I liked the story of Loyola, so I was willing to give them a shot. You know what I mean? Uh, but in terms of like the first round, I mean, I guess we kind of just got to wait to see what upsets happen, and then for the second round, we can kind of discuss if we think any of those teams that do pull off upsets can keep going. That might be a better way to do it because I'm with you on this. I don't really see anything that jumps out at me,
I mean,
other than what we discussed.
yeah, I'm scrolling through the bracket. I could see Tennessee going down. Ten, not I've been short Tennessee all year, especially not taking Rick Barnes in the tournament. Oregon State's a pretty decent team. They
I
won
could
the
see
Pac.
that.
Yeah, Oregon State won the Pac-12. Tennessee's been sputtering all year. After their what were they ranked 10th in the country in the preseason ranking, something like
Yeah,
that.
I feel like they were higher at one point too during the season early on.
Yeah,
I think I picked Oregon State in one of my brackets as well, so I'm with you on that too. I could definitely
yeah,
see
and
that.
I like Syracuse over San Diego State. I took that in the bracket we're doing. San Diego State, really good team, but Syracuse, they got it going, lost a close one to UVA. I think it was a 2 or 3 point game. And what was it, this quarterfinals of the ACC tournament?
Yeah, I
And
don't trust Syracuse, man.
it's Boeheim and March.
Yeah, but
And
that
statistically, when they make their runs, they're an 11 seed, which they are this year.
solid. No, I think
Yeah.
they were a 10 seed when they beat Virginia to go into the Sweet Six or to go into the Elite Eight a couple years ago.
Oh, they're a 10 seed? Yeah,
Yeah, but
seems.
either way, a double digit is when they do their thing. I'm in agreement with that. Um, I don't know, man. I feel like as of late, I mean that was as recent as 2016, but I feel like just the past couple seasons, Syracuse has kind of lost their like what their makeup as a team and an organization has been. Like obviously the 2-3 zone and the defense is still there. They still got long athletes in the perimeter and whatnot. But what was key was always that they were able to score on top of playing that great defense. And the past couple years, they haven't been great with that. How have they been this year?
Like they've been up and down, but I think this is their best scoring team since they made that Elite Eight run. I
There
mean,
you
their
go.
point guards from upstate New York and like the Syracuse area broke Lance Stevenson's all-time scoring record. He averaged 50 a game as a junior.
Sheesh.
In the loss to UVA, Boeheim's son was had 15 points in the first half, 3 from three. And then they have Dolajai, the big Eastern European kid, 21,
Mm-hmm.
who could get hot. He's a little nifty player, good slasher for a big guy. They've got some offense, and if they keep their turnovers down and start causing some turnovers with that 2-3 zone, they could cause some problems. because I don't think San Diego State's ready for that playing in the Mountain West.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, and if they do pull off that upset, you see them going on a little run again, or do you think that they
I,
just have a good matchup against San Diego State?
I think they have a good matchup. I don't think they're going for a big run because they'd face West Virginia in the round of 32, then either Houston or the winner of Rutgers or and Clemson in the round of 64. I think Houston's taken this whole little chunk of that region, and then they'll end up playing who is it? Illinois.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think it'll
Well,
I think it'll be 1 and 2 from that region.
yeah, I agree. I think that's what I I think that's what I ended up having on my bracket. At least one of them. I picked Rutgers to beat Houston in one of them. You know, I had to show a little love to the gang,
For
but
sure, for sure. I
but
mean, I think
yeah,
Oklahoma State got the worst draw. So you have Houston as a 2 seed, Illinois as a 1 seed. You have Georgia Tech, who they lost to in the ACC championship game, Loyola Chicago, Oregon State won the Pac-12, Tennessee. If they're, I don't like them, but if they're good, they're a young athletic team that could cause problems. And then Rutgers and Clemson, depending on which Jekyll and Hyde of those teams you get, they could be a problem.
yeah.
Syracuse, you know what they could do, and I've been high on West Virginia. I think they're poised to go decently, at least go Sweet 16, possibly further, depending on how the ball bounces each game. But I don't know. They got a tough draw. I think probably the who's the 1 seed in this region? Right
Michigan.
about. I mean, I got in Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga got. So they have Creighton, Virginia, who they smoked. Creighton, just looking at like the higher seeds.
Yeah.
Virginia and Creighton 4 and 5, 7-10 Florida Virginia Tech, Ohio State. I think for Gonzaga blows them out of the water if they ever match up. That's a 2 seed.
Yeah, who has the easiest route for the ones? You think it's Gonzaga or
I think I'm looking through. It might. I think it's either Gonzaga or Baylor.
hmm. Yeah, we haven't mentioned Baylor at all yet. Yeah, like we kind of just know what to expect from them and Gonzaga as well. We just finally mentioned Gonzaga too. But
I mean, who's a all right? Whatever bracket I'm looking at looks a little messed up. But
they got you on the wrong bracket.
no, it's just what I'm looking at it on like NCAA, but it's like looking kind of funky.
Well, while you're figuring that out, we're now on TikTok as well. So follow us on TikTok at Russo's Playbook. We got some fun videos in there. We're gonna be posting like our more funny clips and you know, interactive stuff, highlights and whatnot. Um, you know, putting some music behind it, making it a little exciting and enjoyable. So give us a follow on that if you're on TikTok. Also, I want to give a shout out to Franklin native Diamond Miller. She won the Big Ten uh, tournament MVP. She plays for Maryland. They're a number 2 seed going into the women's bracket. Hopefully they pull that off. They get that win. Uh, you know, I'm a family friend of ours. She's from Franklin, so you know, big congrats to her. I don't know if anyone's listening that knows her. Let her know. I'll tell her as well at some point when I see her. But yeah, she won the Big Ten championship MVP, so that's special, man. She's got more years to go as well. So
Yeah. All right. So I got. Hopefully she does well in the tournament. Gotta love family of the program. But yeah, no, I think Gonzaga definitely has the easiest road because they beat Virginia, Creighton. I don't think if they make it that far would pose that much of a problem. You have Kansas, who's been dealing with COVID. They're getting McCormick back, I think Thursday or Friday before the first round, and one of their wings, number 10, they're getting him back Sunday or Monday. And then Iowa's the other biggest challenge for them, and they blew out Iowa earlier this
that's what
season.
I wanted to ask. That actually, I was gonna ask, where do you see Iowa dropping off? Because I know we both agree that they're not gonna be a team that really gets to the Final Four, I don't think, or anything like that. But I mean, they're good enough to win most of those games. Where do you see them dropping off? You think they have a
So in
bad
my
shooting day early, or
uh I don't think they go early because they're matched up with Grand Canyon first round, pretty good program, but I don't think they'll have anything to combat Luka Garza with.
Mhm.
I then they play Pac-12, probably likely Oregon uh in the round of 32, USC Sweet 16. I think their overall like their shooting could the the problem with USC, Evan Mobley, as I mentioned before, 7-1 going to be a top 5 pick, and Garza does a lot of his damage banging low in the post using his size, frame,
that'll
and body.
that'll be an interesting matchup
Yeah, I mean, I
if it comes.
personally have them going to the Elite Eight where they lose to Gonzaga, but I don't know. As long as Luka Garza doesn't have like a game where he ends up with 10 points, I think they'll be fine. Because
Yeah.
even so, they should be getting Wieskamp back, one of their other seniors. Bohannon shooting 43% from three. They got the McCaffrey brothers. They're a loaded offense, not a bad defense. They're good. I actually like them when they switch to 2-3 zone. Have a pretty potent with that. Um, yeah, but I think if we're going easiest road, I think it's got to be Baylor because Michigan, their round of 32 matchup will likely be LSU, high octane offense. Colorado as a 5 seed, they could do damage. Florida State as a 4, BYU's in this bracket.
Mhm.
Number 3 is Texas. There's UConn, number 7, Maryland, number 10, and Alabama at 2. So that's
Yeah,
tough. So yeah, I think it's going
tough road
Baylor.
right there.
Yeah, it's got to be Baylor because they're the biggest contests are going to be North Carolina, Wisconsin, not great this year. Villanova, I think they're losing first round. Purdue, good, but not that good. Texas Tech, if Mac McClung goes cold, I think they're toast.
Yeah,
And their biggest competition is going to be Arkansas.
I like Arkansas.
Yeah,
I
Arkansas
like
is
Arkansas.
nice. Got to roll with the must bus.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. You got any other big points you want to get to, or you want to wrap it up?
Nah, pretty much. I guess just a couple teams to watch out for. I think even though Gonzaga's had a weak conference and postseason slate so far, they'll still be good. I think probably my two teams to watch. It's not really any surprises, but really, I think Alabama's going to make a run. Illinois, I got them going to uh the championship game, and I think it's going to be really exciting to watch Oklahoma State with Cade Cunningham because they got a hell of a squad around them.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma State could definitely make a run if Cade's on. If he's dropping 30 a game, tourney style. I mean, they can make a little run. That's definitely true. Um, I would say my biggest one to look out for. I really do like Florida State, man. I like the fact that they've been challenged so much this season, to the point where even some of those games that they lost at the end, that's still like a learning lesson, something you can improve from all the time. So I think Florida State could potentially sneak their way into Elite Eight Final Four status. They match up with Michigan. I like Michigan, but I'm not like super duper sold on them. Like I have them. I think I have them losing to Florida State in one of my brackets, and the other one I have them losing the next round over. So it could
Yeah,
it
I
could
that's a
they can
good.
pull something off.
Yeah, Florida State's got a good matchup against Michigan because Michigan's also they might be without Livers, their best player, who they
Yep.
were trying to tote as conference player of the year. So that's a huge loss for them, and their biggest weakness all season has been turnovers, and Florida State good at causing turnovers.
There you go. Also, we gotta give a shout out to you. You're a shark, the locksmith, Pete's Picks at Pete. What is it? At Pete's Picks 33 on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Give him a follow, man. Well, and if you don't believe me, we got the digital footprint on the blog. www.russosplaybook.com. March 1st, CP right here. Told you guys who the first team All-American team was going to be. All 5. He went 5 for 5. They just announced it yesterday. And yeah, he went 5 for 5. If you don't believe me, it's right there. Proof is in the
We
pudding.
got the
Check it out.
evidence.
What was that?
We got the evidence right there. All
Yeah, we got
digital
the evidence. But yeah, man, thanks for tuning in, guys. Connor, thanks for doing this with me.
Of course.
We're gonna see how our schedules work, but if we can get back on and recap the first round or something like that, if we have the time, we should definitely do that.
For sure, for
Even
sure.
just like if it's a quick one. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe wherever you're listening. Go check out those blogs. Like we said, we've got more coming. We also got a NFL free agency starts today as well, so we've got blogs about that out now. I think we've got UFC this weekend, so I'll be doing another show, and then we got our weekly show that we're recording tonight, as well as breaking down another one of our NFL divisions and their off-season outlook. Draft's coming up after NFL free agency. But right now, man, we're focused on March Madness. That's the big story in the basketball world, at least. And once that's over, we'll get back to NBA. Put that on the back burner for a little bit, and then playoff time will be coming up soon, shortly after that. So, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple quick shout outs for me. My podcast, Give Me the Money podcast, you catch it on Twitter, podcast GTM. We'll be coming out with our March Madness episode later tonight, and also my March Madness preview blog coming out later today. So a lot of college hoops content coming out soon. Stay tuned.
Hell yeah, you guys deserve it. Also, check out our first team all names while we're on the first team All-American conversation. That's a fun one for you guys to check out if you haven't already. But yeah, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Russo's Playbook. Follow Connor's stuff, his podcast, his Twitter as well. Tune into that. It's a great show. I tune in every week. And then, yeah, we've got more episodes coming on Russo's Playbook's platform this week as well. And, the blogs never stop, baby. So have a good one, guys. We'll see you probably after the first round. We'll be back with another On the Court episode.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.